Welcome to Fresh Talk News Channel. Today, we bring you a major development in the world of state taxation. Mississippi is making history with a groundbreaking tax overhaul, but not everyone agrees on whether this change will benefit the state's economy or burden its residents, especially the poor. Governor Reeves has officially signed a bill into law that will gradually eliminate Mississippi's income tax, making it the first state in the nation to do so. But the bill's journey to becoming law was anything but smooth. In a bizarre turn of events, many lawmakers unknowingly voted for the measure due to typos in the legislation. Now, with the governor's signature, Mississippi is set to phase out its income tax over the next 14 years. At the bill's signing ceremony, Reeves praised the move as a landmark decision for the state's future. Today is a day that will be remembered not just for the headlines, not just for the politics, but for the profound generational change it represents, Reeves declared. After years of hard work, we can all stand together and say that we have accomplished income tax elimination in the state of Mississippi. Under the new law, Mississippi's income tax rate, currently being reduced to 4% from a previous tax cut, will continue decreasing. Starting in 2027, the rate will drop by 0.25% each year until it reaches 3%. By 2031, further reductions will be tied to revenue growth triggers. However, due to an overlooked typo in the Senate's version of the bill, those economic growth triggers were effectively nullified, accelerating the tax phase-out process much faster than originally planned. In addition to eliminating the income tax, the law includes other tax modifications. It reduces the sales tax on groceries from 7% to 5% while simultaneously increasing the state gasoline tax from 18.4 cents per gallon to 27.4 cents per gallon over 3 years to fund infrastructure improvements. Additionally, it makes changes to the contribution model of the public employee retirement system. Lawmakers remain divided on the impact of these sweeping changes. House leaders have long supported eliminating the state's personal income tax, arguing that it will spur economic growth and attract businesses and workers to Mississippi. The Senate, however, advocated for a more gradual approach, warning that slashing a third of the state's revenue without a backup plan could have disastrous consequences, especially in an unpredictable economy. One of the biggest concerns among critics is the effect on the state's budget. Neva Butkus, a senior analyst at the Institute on Taxation and Economic Policy, warns that Mississippi could see a $2.6 billion reduction in its $7 billion general fund once the tax elimination is complete. This, she argues, would leave the state struggling to provide essential government services, particularly during a time when federal cuts to social programs are being considered. What the state is essentially committing to is a very extreme and dramatic loss of revenue at a time when Mississippi may be facing significant reductions in federal funding, Butkus said. And they're doing this while creating a windfall for the state's wealthiest residents in the poorest state in the Union. Mississippi's reliance on federal funding is among the highest in the nation. If federal budget cuts take effect, the loss of state tax revenue could be devastating for essential services. Data from ITP shows that Mississippians earning under $19,300 per year already pay about 12.4% of their income in taxes, while those making over $362,000 contribute only 6.9%. Once the income tax is fully eliminated, the disparity is expected to grow, especially with the gasoline tax increase impacting lower-income residents disproportionately. However, supporters of the bill, such as Joe Bishop Henchman of the National Taxpayers Union Foundation, argue that the economic growth triggers, despite the errors in their language, still allow room for responsible tax reductions without crippling the state budget. A value of triggers is that it still leaves room for budget growth, Bishop Henchman explained. Other states have used similar mechanisms to ensure financial stability while reducing taxes. Local officials across Mississippi are also weighing in. Some mayors are optimistic that the reduction in grocery sales tax could benefit residents, while others fear that revenue losses could impact basic services like police, fire departments, and road maintenance. Sherry Veazey, executive director of the Mississippi Municipal League, a lobbying group representing cities and towns, stated that her organization did not oppose the bill because it ensures localities will continue receiving funds from grocery sales tax, despite the rate reduction. Our Number one priority was making sure there was no loss of revenue when they reduced the grocery sales tax, Reeves said. And we don't believe there will be. Starkville Mayor Lynn Spruill expressed cautious optimism but emphasized that the true impact of the overhaul remains to be seen. The proof will be in the numbers we receive when it goes into effect, Spruill said. I'm relying on our legislators being accurate. On the other hand, some officials from rural communities are deeply concerned. Greenville Mayor Eric Simmons believes the tax cuts will hurt small towns that rely on state funding for essential services. The trickle-down negative effects of this tax overhaul will not actually trickle down, it will be a huge takeaway from this rural community, Simmons warned. When local governments lose the ability to fund police, fire, and other essential services, the safety and well-being of our residents are put at risk. Carolyn McAdams, mayor of Greenwood, echoed similar concerns about how smaller towns will be affected. The people in these small towns, like Itabena and Schlater, don't even have grocery stores, only small convenience stores, McAdams said. How will this impact them? I just have to trust that lawmakers have considered all these factors. Governor Reeves, however, remains confident that the benefits of the tax overhaul will outweigh the costs. We are saying to entrepreneurs, to workers, to dreamers, Mississippi is open for business, and we will not penalize your success, Reeves said. We are going to compete, and we are going to win. The effects of this historic tax decision will unfold over the next decade. Will Mississippi thrive under this new system, or will the financial strain prove too much to handle? Only time will tell. Thanks for watching Fresh Talk News channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more news and updates.